You should see the way it glows.
See, it says.
Sending data.
What's up?
Hi.
Are you my dada?
What?
Daughter?
Your daughter.
Dada?
My
Sounds like you're
daddy
saying dada.
didn't know me.
We have 0 viewers.
My brother rose
Oh, you know what
up.
I'm not streaming on? This one. Let's turn this one on.
My mama kept on working.
Oh, Instagram.
Yeah.
My sister paid a price.
This guy is from San Benito, Texas.
Oh, that's cool.
Darkness did surround
Yeah.
me.
What's up?
Trouble
Good morning.
That looks like
everywhere
a
I
good burger.
There we go.
Then one
Now you
day
can't hear
I
us, but you and I can hear each other. That's my friend.
Oh, okay.
All right, here's what we're going to do.
Everything
I'm teaching Nola how to stream. Live video.
If you ask me where I'm going,
Drew and Nola in the morning.
I
and Jess and
can't
Nola
tell you,
in the
'cause I
morning.
don't
Drew and
know.
Jess and Nola. What? Oh,
What?
Adeli's here.
Mind, I see the
Adeli's here.
I was hanging out with you.
I know.
You should see the way it glows.
Whatever. Bye.
And now you know my story.
Now I'm sad and lonely
I bet you got one like it.
because my daughter just left.
May your curse become a blessing.
Good morning.
There ain't nothing else to do.
I'm waiting for Jess. She just got done working out. It's okay. I was streaming with our daughter. We were having a good time. Yay. 4 minutes early. Well, so much for that. Look, it's this, I'm so not a fan of Instagram streaming. You know that? I think it's like they do it this way instead of this way, and then it messes it all up if you don't have the right cameras and if you're not doing two things at the same time. Whatever. Anyway, here's half my face. Good morning, Instagram. If you want to see all my face, get on YouTube because people are chatting with us on there anyway, and that'll be way more fun. There's people at the front door. Our daughter is having a party with a bunch of friends today, so our doorbell's going to be going off, but we told them, hey, we're going to be hanging out in the back room. All right, let's see what's going on. Let's see if this thing is alive. I hope everybody's doing good this morning. We got some fun stuff to talk about. It's interesting. It's been a couple of weeks, but that's okay. All right, we're just going to hang out here and wait for Jess. Let's read the news while she's doing that. Let's see. What comes to mind? What's happening in the news this morning? Let's go. And I don't want to look at CNN or Fox. Furiosa box office. Furiosa bombs. Is that a good bomb or a bad bomb? Furiosa bombs with $25 million on its opening weekend against its $168 million budget. The worst Memorial Day opening weekend in nearly 3 decades. Oof. That's tough. Rangers win in overtime. What else we got going on? Dallas Maverick defeat the Minnesota Timberwolves 116-107, taking a commanding 3-0 series lead in the conference finals. Saw that coming. Let's see. What else is happening this morning? No, we're not even showing live on Instagram yet. That's okay. There we go. Look at that. We're live on the Insta feed. Live on Instagram. We're live on Instagram. It's okay. Hurry up. Don't hurry up. Don't be late. You are great. Don't hesitate. Live on Instagram. What else is going on in the news this morning? What is your comfort movie that you have watched many times? Asking Reddit. Let's see. Username Skibbity Gyat. I love it. I love these stupid ass words our kids come up with. I went through a phase where I watched Groundhog Day dozens of times over and over and over. Often while I was doing other tasks, it became a soothing background for me. And yes, I'm quite aware of the irony of playing Groundhog Day over and over and over. Watch that first step. It's a doozy. Let's see what else. What else is happening? God has sent me, convinced that my energy is not biological. Prime Minister Narendra Modi from India. Okay. All right. My energy is not biological. Sweet. What celebrity makes you lose trust in a product when it's endorsed by them? That's a good one. I don't know. Oh, let's see. Who do you think the number one answer is? Any beauty product endorsed by a celebrity. You're not shopping at Walgreens for wrinkle cream, Jennifer Garner. That would be the best comment listed. The top comment listed on Reddit. Nope, the same one. Jennifer Garner buying beauty cream at Walgreens. Dude, go ahead, take your time, man. What's up? You're late. Look, I'm just reading the news.
Am I supposed to sit this close? Also,
Nope.
no.
They're right there.
I need to get in.
Get in there.
Getting in.
Whoa, who's that?
Oh my god.
Look, at least you did your hair. Look at this. This is why Drew wears hats.
Well, I took a shower because I just got
like a
back
chia pet.
from the gym.
You're going to have to get that mic closer to your face there, sweetheart. You know the
Let's
drill.
Adjust here.
This is going to have to be in your face.
I got it.
No, you don't got it. You never got it.
Good morning.
Looking for that little bar right there. That's where you want to be, in that little yellow area.
All right. So, what are you talking about this morning?
Nothing. I was just going over the news and seeing what's happening. This camera's all different though, because this is the house, and it's not used to two people being in the frame. It's used to one person, so it autofocuses. So it's gonna look a little bit blurry.
It is going to look a little blurry. It's okay.
Yeah, and then on Instagram, half your face is cut off. So
That's even better because,
yeah, see, look, there we
Just
go.
jumped
There's
on.
our Instagram feed.
Oh, look. I don't know how to fix that.
That's good. Well,
I wonder how you make that wide.
you can't. That's not what Instagram does. So if you're listening to
Okay.
us on Instagram, get on YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/@DrewInTheMorning.
Are we not doing the Facebook thing anymore?
Yeah, it's on Facebook. Get on Facebook if you want to.
Okay. Well, good morning.
Get
So
on YouTube.
you've been on for about 4 minutes. I heard you talking about a blockbuster hit that happened this weekend.
No, not a blockbuster hit.
A
Furiosa, the new Mad Max,
Oh, it's bad.
$25 million opening, even though the budget for it was, I believe, $168 million.
Ouch.
Ooh, talk about being Furiosa.
You know what else I listened to this morning? I was catching up on like podcast news, and this looks pretty bad, Drew.
I'm telling you, there's nothing I can do about it.
Okay, so I was listening how it was 300 million travelers this season for Memorial Day weekend. That's what they were expecting, 300 million travelers.
300 million travelers.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. Think about planes and schedules and all of that, which got me thinking about what are the top things people need when they travel? As I've gotten older, I take less and less things.
Okay. The top things you need: deodorant,
Oh, yes, absolutely.
clothes.
Yeah. Chargers.
Yeah, see, the problem is you can always buy all that stuff, but
Yeah,
super
but they're expensive at the airport. And then once you get to your destination, you don't want to stop and look for electronics.
Yeah.
So the chargers are the ones that I notoriously forget and had to buy plenty of them at the airport. But it's, what else do you forget? You forget underwear?
I don't forget things.
Right. Drew doesn't forget anything, ever.
I don't forget
Nothing.
things when I pack. Yeah.
That's not true. You've forgotten shirts before, a belt.
Oh, I did forget a belt one time.
And then when traveling with kids, it's like the inevitable, like pack the extra clothes in the
Yeah.
backpack. What would
Yeah,
make things smoother? And then
What I do is I go day by day. I say, okay, oh, good. Well, our camera just shut off. That's exciting.
But are we still on?
That's exciting.
Maybe they don't need to see us.
Ouch.
It says Facebook tanked.
Oh, man, what happened to my knee? Uh-oh. I don't know what happened.
Is the camera?
Why did it tank? Something tanked.
I don't know. Are we on anywhere else?
It's very exciting.
Oh, there you go. Do you think if we were to scoot back, you'd see it better on Instagram?
No, sweetheart. That's
Okay.
not how that works.
When you say no, sweetheart, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
What are you really trying to tell me when you say no, sweetheart?
I'm trying to say, no, sweetheart, that's not how that works.
What's the other one that you say? You
Yes,
say
dear.
yes, dear. When you say yes, dear, what does that really work? What are you really trying to say
I'm
when
trying
you
to
say
say
yes?
yes, dear.
No, you're not. No, you're not. What does that
You
really
can't even see it.
mean?
You can't see my face right now, but you can hear us talking. All right.
What does yes, dear mean?
This is I'm trying to figure out how to make this thing work for. There we go. Oh, look at that. There, now we're all
yes, dear.
large and in charge. Here we go.
Yes, dear.
This I always have this thing. Now this is gonna screw up all the rest of the stuff that I do. We don't want to go to the office because our daughter was having.
She's having
a bunch of people over. There we go.
Look,
the movie tanked. Oh,
okay.
I was like the Facebook
Chargers,
tanked also.
headphones, snacks. Snacks are a big deal.
No.
Yes. Well, okay. Stop
It depends.
thinking about
Hold on.
just yourself.
Depends. Are you traveling with kids?
Yes, I'm
or not?
talking about Memorial Day travel with children. I mean, you're not going to go by yourself. I mean, you could, but
There. Let's see if I put.
or summer vacation travel, right? So, what do we need in the bags? Snacks.
Yeah.
Don't judge me, but I'm not real into the wipes. Like, I don't even wipe it down anymore. I'm not licking the doorknob, but I'm also not wiping it down.
You're not
Whatever.
licking the doorknob. Is that what you just said?
No, not licking the doorknob. But snacks are good for you too, babe.
Look, I'm going live with this thing. Don't do that. I hate it when you do that. When you make that comment.
Yes, dear.
Oh, what a hater. Damn, dude.
Okay, what movie did we watch this weekend that was good though? We watched the Blue Angels documentary, and that was really good.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, the kids loved it, and it kept us pretty entertained.
That was pretty good. I was enjoying that one.
And then I started Madam Web last night with Fleet, and we'll finish that today, hopefully. He's off at school today.
I was enjoying that one too. I thought that was pretty good.
Okay, so 300 million travelers going everywhere. Curious to know, summer plans, do you stay home or do you try to go out and about? It's so hot right now that I don't want to go anywhere.
So hot damn. Call the police.
Are you still fiddling with things?
Yeah, man. I'm trying to see if we're even live.
Okay,
so.
Gabe's talking to us.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Dude, it's hot. It's 1 billion degrees in here. You need to scoot this way.
Okay, let me know when you're ready.
There you go. Come on over.
Let me know when you're ready and let me
Come
know
on over.
when to sit down. Oh, there. Is that better?
Yes. See, I want you in
Oh,
the
this
picture.
is a very intimate conversation.
Well,
we're
I
having.
want it. I'm telling you, this thing is.
Look at this. Now I can cuddle with you.
Yes. This thing's. I always have this set up. This is where I do all the other. This is where I do the Waves podcast and the other ones. But
Yeah.
this works.
All right. Well, we can talk to each other here.
Hi.
What's going on?
Hey, so something that you haven't read the title. But
haven't.
Do you realize?
No. What?
Well, when your mic stops making noise.
Sorry.
It's been a year.
Is today a year?
Last week was a year. This thing
We had an anniversary.
Yeah, it's been 1 year of
Our banter on air.
what used to be called Drew in the Morning. He says saltily.
You know, I encourage you. You know, you too. I think I got back from the gym and then went straight to the shower, so I'm kind of still sweating, which is kind of gross.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah, I bombarded the show, and then I just didn't leave.
Nope, haven't left yet.
But okay, but here's the thing: in effort of true honesty, right? We talk about transparency and how important it is, which will lead me into a whole nother conversation in a second.
Well, so here's the thing. Do you know why I started doing Drew in the Morning? Do you know why I wanted to start doing Drew in the Morning?
To make everyone cringe.
I wanted to start with Drew in the Morning, so that I could. That's why I started broadcasting on KCYP. That's why I started reaching out to KURV.
Okay.
Because I wanted to maybe, hopefully, in my mind, build it into something that could be like more akin to a traditional radio show.
And then I ruined it.
And you came in and brought Jessica in, and then transformed into what it is today.
Awkward banter between both of us.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that spirit of staying honest, do you want me off the show?
No.
Are you sure?
No, it's fun talking to you.
Because I can leave,
No, don't leave.
or I can do my own show.
You can do your own show anytime you want. We have all of the things to do your own show.
The thing is that I've realized I'm not a solo podcaster person.
No, you like to
I
talk
can't.
over people.
Wow. Okay, we're full of zingers today. Tell me how you really feel, babe. Yes, dear.
Yes, dear. What was the statistic you're talking about? 300 million?
300 million travelers, I guess, through the airport. They were talking about giving incentives to airlines that are willing to take the bigger planes. If you can accommodate more passengers, the airlines will receive incentives.
From who?
I don't know, from airports.
Oh. Okay.
They want more people moving. Like if you can accommodate more, that's better.
Did you drive up 2nd Street this morning?
I did. I
saw
saw
the flags?
I did. I
was
saw
really
the
cool.
flags out, and I saw lots of people out moving around.
It was a good conversation that I got to have with little man about what Memorial Day is and why Memorial Day is.
Talk to me about it.
It's what we talked about this morning about
Right.
Memorial Day being a day where you don't run around telling people Happy Memorial Day, because for a lot of people, I was reading this article this morning, it was saying for a lot of people this is one of the saddest days. The first sad day is when they lose their family member,
Right.
for in the service, and the second saddest day is every year at Memorial Day when you stop and you think about what people sacrificed. It's interesting. We've had a couple of people close to the family, a couple of people, Stephen, some of these other people that are close that
They've sacrificed their lives.
yeah. So it's pretty nuts. It's weird. I posted a thing, I didn't, you would have thought I would have gone into the military with my dad doing what he did, but it skips a generation apparently.
Is that what happens?
But, just I remember the faces of all those people.
I'm always curious to know what draws you to that. Like, well, how do you get there? Because I'm pretty selfish,
Yeah.
right? And I think we are all, at our core, maybe not always, but think about ourselves first. And so it's always really interesting how you make a decision to completely just help others, and that's it. Like you're completely sacrificing your life.
Yeah.
And it could be, I'm never going to say an easy ride, but like it could be a lot harder than
Well, like
if
we
you
just had someone close to us go into the military,
right.
and he's serving his time right now.
And
He's
I
doing
would
his
like
thing.
to-
not
and-
serving his time,
But,
what I
well,
mean.
yeah, well, he's he started, and he's on his path to that. And so, but I am just curious, like, I don't know if I could ever make that commitment. So I'm always so in awe of the people that can.
Mm-hmm.
And because you're away from your family, you're training, you're learning skills, you're at times at war. I mean, how do you make that decision?
Yeah. For some people, it's a career path, right? Where they say, you know what, I want to go into something that requires all this technical capability, and it's a good way to train. And then there's the GI Bill, and then they can pay for your school and everything else.
So there's incentives to do it, but it's still an incredible
It's
sacrifice.
a huge sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't do it. I didn't do it because I was super selfish, but that's okay. Well, I'm not saying everyone who doesn't join the military isn't selfish, but, think about Israel, right? You're required to serve in
Right.
the military. Imagine what the United States would be like if everyone was required to serve in the military for a certain amount of time. You think it'd make it better or worse? You
Well,
think it would
I don't know.
increase or decrease gun crimes? That's an interesting thought.
I have zero opinion on this. I have no idea. And to be honest, I've never really thought about it because we've always been given a choice.
Yeah.
And so to switch mindsets to where something you have to do is not something I can comprehend.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So for that, thank you. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, what else is going on? You were gone last week. You went somewhere fun.
I did. It was really fun. I got to go to the Charles Schwab golf tournament. I was invited by a broker company that we do some business with. And it was a really neat invitation, and one that it took me a second to say yes, right? I was just like, do I go to this or do I not? I mean, I like playing golf, sure, but originally it started with they wanted us to play a scramble, and
In the Pro-Am.
in the Pro-Am, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't want to be playing, but I did want to go and check it out. So I got to do the whole spectator thing, and got invited to the Colonial, and you walk
so
through
what did you
it.
think? You've never you don't like to watch golf on TV.
I mean, I've watched it with you, but my attention span lasts a whole 2 minutes before I'm off doing something else, right? And
So what do you think about it live?
it was so much fun. Like, I can't wait to go again. That's the truth. Is it's like golf done right. Well, you get to get
It's a little bit different.
You get to get the little pass, and you go to all these really beautifully well done tents that have got lounges and food and drinks. And I will say that it is incredibly fun that way, right? You're
really
you're
is.
walking from hole to hole, checking out the players who are so good that you can't you can't help but stand with your mouth kind of just, oh my God, did they
is.
hit the ball and it goes exactly where it's supposed to
Just the
go?
sound of it.
Imagine that.
But that's how I play golf, right, honey?
Yeah, sure you do. Yeah, you get so frustrated playing golf. And I'm not going to say the guys weren't exactly smiling and looking super happy, but they were zoned in, right, obviously. But the rest of us were having such a good time. And then all the little signs that say quiet y'all when they're going to
Do they say quiet y'all
yeah,
there?
say quiet y'all there. And then the big X's, right? So you're not supposed to go or move when they're teeing off. And but anyway, it was just a really neat experience. It was really hot. Yeah, so I got there like, fake it till you make it. What do I really know about golf? So I like went and totally coordinated in my outfit, and then
Hold on, I hear the dogs.
and
out
then
of it. You keep tugging.
quickly sweated all of my makeup off, and it's incredibly hard to stay cute in 105-degree weather and humidity. So that part was a little tough, but we made it through. I think a lot of people were having to hydrate, making sure they didn't have heat stroke. Full Swing on Netflix is entertaining. Scotty Scheffler's situation is interesting. So it was interesting. I'll tell you that it kind of highlighted Scotty Scheffler as a rock star for this particular tournament because the crowd following him was way bigger than anyone else. And that was
he placed second.
And yeah, and he placed second, which was really neat. So it was just neat to watch and to see that they are so tuned in.
Yeah, man. So I have a question. I'm trying to look it up to see if I can see who he was paired with. Grayson Murray.
He was paired with Grayson Murray?
No, I'm trying to see who was paired with Grayson Murray.
That was incredibly tragic.
Because you probably walked right in front of you at one point in time or another.
That was an incredibly tragic situation. And I don't know all the details, but I can't imagine what he was going through to withdraw from the tournament. That seems so high energy, right? I know it's pressure and they're working and that part's different. And I'm seeing it completely from a spectator point of view and not from their eyes. But it seems so easygoing, right? It seems like everyone there is genuinely, having somewhat of a good time. And you're walking through all this stuff and you see the crowds and people cheering for you that you can't imagine that could get you down. But again, you never know what people are suffering through.
So he was paired with a guy named Peter Malnati, and he broke down after everything.
I don't know if everyone knows what happened, so you might want to.
Yeah. So what happened is he's been struggling with depression and mental health issues, and he's always been super, super open about it as a golfer. He's in his press conference, he always mentions it, and so he talked about it, and he would continuously talk about it. And I don't say they tried to normalize it, but a lot of people knew what he was going through who pay attention to the game and follow it. And there were all these stories about all the amazing things that he had done for people that were suffering. He talks about, this person was talking about transportation, how they didn't have transportation. He bought him a car. Like there's all these great stories about him, but apparently it was just too much. And the family put out a press release and they said, we hope that you respect our privacy. And they are the ones that announced that he had died by suicide. And that was tough, man. I can't. That's like, as a parent, that ranks up there on one of my absolute biggest fears.
So you said something, and that's a part that to me is always so interesting. You said that it was too much. For this particular person, it was too much. And so everyone's got such a different threshold. And it's so important to be vocal about what is too much. Like and I say that in every realm, right? If your workload is too much, if your situation with your spouse is too much, if you're fighting with your mom, it's too much. It's important to vocalize that.
Yeah.
To say it out loud. Hey, this is too much. This conversation is too much. And even just those words should be enough for the other person to be like, okay, point taken.
Yeah, but I mean, that sounds so good. But there's times when you and I have been in an argument.
And you leave, and then I go make it even more much.
Yeah, where I remove myself. I'm not. If it's too much, I disappear. I need to stop. I need to reset. I need to take a deep breath. I need to walk away.
Right.
You are the exact opposite. So sometimes when we get in arguments, like literally, you chase me out the door, and I'm like, I need to get away from you. I don't think you understand. I need to get the fuck out of here. Like I need to leave.
Right. Whereas
and no, you need to stay.
Okay.
And it's like, no. Okay. So.
Oh my God. So Vic, you're making this sound really
what I'm saying
volatile.
What I'm saying is that sometimes when someone says it's too much, maybe people need to understand, hey, it is too much. Maybe stop and listen to what they're saying. Go, hey, it is too
I
much.
think I've gotten better over the years.
Sure.
I think I've gotten better over these. I hear you. I hear you.
Oh my God. This is hold on. This is a conversation I wanted to have like weeks ago. I was having coffee with a friend of mine and we were joking about how you can always tell the couples that have gone to couples therapy because of key words that they say. I hear you. What I feel is...
And we're all really careful to like, because it's an explosive situation. So the truth is that I'm okay. I've always been okay with the really awkward conversations, right? When something is really, truly bothering me, I'm the first one to pick up the phone. I'm the first one to reach out to you and say, hey, I don't like this. This is making me feel this way. Or I blurt out, right? Like anger, right?
Yeah.
Anger flies out of my
I'm
mouth.
Opposite. Go fuck yourself. I'm out of here later.
Well, you don't want to talk about it.
I leave. I just.
But I have to talk about it, and there's no me feeling better about anything until I've talked about it.
Completely.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I want to talk about all of it and how it made me feel and why it made me feel and what are you going to do and how are we going to fix it and how are we moving forward.
Like, is that a man and woman thing?
I don't know if everybody's like that. I can't tell you that. I don't know. I think that there's lots of women also that maybe don't want to talk about things, right?
To me, cutting it off is the easiest way. Just like, you know what, just cut it and walk away.
My problem with cutting
Bye.
it, but how I feel when you cut it off is that you're tabling it, you're ignoring it. We can't resolve it if you're gonna cut it off.
But it's the opposite. To me, it's cutting it off as done. And I'm like, I'm done with it. But you're like, but I'm not
done with it. Right. I'm not done with it until we have exhausted all of it.
Yeah.
Until we have full frontal exhausted all of it. Like I want to see it all.
Well, my point with it is that when something is too much, if you don't recognize that and you continue to apply pressure, or the world continues to apply pressure, when someone's like, hey, it's too much, I'm done, then how do you know when to, like, if someone says too much, you just have to stop, because if you don't, then you're pushing. I don't know the right answer, right? And it's not just fighting and stuff. I was at a conference 2 weeks ago, and we walked into a noisy restaurant, and the person that I was with had the little rings that you put in your ear, very very sensitive to
sounds.
Yeah, sounds, loud noises, whatever. And we walked in, and she looks around, she goes, nope, and she picks them up and she puts them in her ear. It's like, all right, that's better. And just didn't talk to anybody for the rest of the evening. She's a wonderful person.
So she can't hear when she has those in?
I think she can.
Just muffled, maybe?
I don't know. But she's just like, nope, too much noise.
Interesting.
Because she wanted to be a part of
what was happening. And
she was okay not contributing, not talking, maybe even not listening. I don't know if she could hear or not. But she was happy to be there. She's smiling the whole time. It wasn't like there was no negative connotation.
But how great that she recognized that it was something that she needed to stabilize for herself.
Yeah. So, but again, there's ways that you can self-limit, right? That's what I do. I'm like,
Well, I think of it this way, right? Because it's so important to be social and so important to be out and involved in the things that you love and involved with other people who are doing the same things that you care about. And it's important to have your community and important to have your support that way. So I think it's fantastic that she was able to identify that she still wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Wasn't willing to retract, but able to give herself a tool that helped her still be there.
Yeah.
Which is great, because how many other people would have just said, I'm out, I'm done, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah,
I'm out.
And that goes back to that conversation of if the world is too much, if what's happening in someone's world is too much, how do they disconnect without ultimately disconnecting? You know what I mean? I don't
know, and I don't know enough about
mental health, man. It's a
I don't know how we talk about it and make it
Mental Health Awareness Month. That's how we do it. We
keep talking about it. Right. And as clueless as we are, maybe it helps that we can talk about it. I don't know.
I think so. Speaking of talking about you what a last couple of weeks it's been. We haven't even talked. Like, you and I have just been everywhere. We've been on different sides of the.
You were in San Francisco. I left for
US, it feels like
Dallas, Houston.
But you listened to a podcast and you call me up and you're like, oh my God.
Oh yeah. Okay. So because now I'm a therapist, I'm joking, not a therapist, but I like to pretend that now I know everything. And so I listened to, it wasn't a podcast. It was actually a show.
Oh, I thought it was, okay.
It was a show. Are you talking about what I got off the plane and was talking to you about?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was a show, and I'm on the plane, and so you're limited to what you can watch. And I didn't really want to watch a movie. The flight wasn't very long, and so I put on this show called Couples Therapy, and I said, let me just kind of have this on, and
I feel like that was a good decision.
I recognize that a lot of our issues are one, lack of communication, if you can believe it, right? Like, and I can only speak about us. We need to talk more about the things that bother us and how we internalize that and how I interpret your shortcomings or lack thereof.
What?
Or
what?
Or things that
how
you
I
are
interpret the things that you suck at.
I didn't say that.
What, dude? What
I
is
meant
that?
I meant like the things that you the things that bother me are not about me.
Wrong.
No, the things that bother me are about me.
Yes, they're
right.
not about me.
Okay, so getting back to the
let's
show.
try this again.
Yeah, okay,
What
I remember
did you
now.
learn from this?
that truly, when we are not seeing eye to eye, it's got nothing to do with you and how you're reacting. It has to do with me and how I'm interpreting your reaction.
There we go.
Right? So the way that I see your interpretation of I see your interpretation of something.
The way that you interpret my reaction of something.
Right.
I think that was the point of the show.
Right. The point was that deep down, this isn't about Drew hating me. It isn't about Drew being mad at me. Deep down, this is about I'm seeing something and recognizing something in his action that is triggering me.
Okay.
And instead of just being able to say, hey, you not washing the dishes has made me feel like you're abandoning me because of whatever, it creates a bigger problem.
The deal. Okay, so hold on. So the deal with washing the dishes.
Really, always not that great at explaining these things.
Yeah,
but I had a point.
The deal with washing the dishes isn't about us.
It's not.
It's about what they use. The example that they use is a very good example.
Right.
Let me see if I can capture this one right.
Okay.
There's a lady that they're talking to who says every night before she goes to bed, she wants a clean kitchen.
Yes.
She wants to make sure that all the dishes are clean and they're all put away and everything is where it's supposed to be and the kitchen is
spotless because in the morning.
This isn't Jessica, by the way.
Oh, I don't care about the dishes.
There's
not my
other
problem.
shit we worry about.
Yeah.
The dishes are not one of them. So, but in this scenario, the lady worries about the dishes.
Right.
She says, "This is my thing. Like that is her thing. That is her hill that she dies on every day."
That's her situation, and that she's discussed it enough with her husband to say, "Hey, this is important to me. We should really together focus on cleaning the kitchen before we go to bed because in the morning I need a fresh start."
Mm-hmm. And so that's great. But then every once in a while, the husband will go and take a bowl of cereal or ice cream and just leave it in the sink.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, he goes to bed a little bit later, which happens
Which
sometimes.
I do all the time.
Right?
I'm not
Like
saying
it
I don't.
comes
I did
in,
it last night.
And he'll use some stuff and he doesn't wash it.
He just put it away. He doesn't wash it or
he
put it
just
away.
puts it in the sink and leaves it there. Okay. And in the morning, the wife wakes up and she's just like crazy because now it's offset her entire morning. She's not happy because there's dishes in the sink. She feels like she doesn't get a right start to her day, and she has no choice but to turn around and tell her husband, "Hey,
you son of a
no,
bitch."
I don't think her reaction was quite that crazy.
No, but hold on.
But
but that's the reality of the situation. She and if she saw the dishes in the morning, she wouldn't be like, "Oh man, there's a dirty bowl in there." She would immediately look at the dish, and I bet she'd look at the husband and be like, "This piece of shit." Like,
I don't know.
How dare he not wash the dishes after I've asked him so many times
to wash the dishes.
The damn dishes.
Right. And so then you realize,
and then that like quickly turns
into like this. Yeah, I'll get to the dishes. I'll wash the dishes, because she'll turn around and she'll say, "Hey, can you wash the dishes?" And he'll say, "Yeah, of course. I'll get to the dishes."
Yeah. And so the guy's perspective is,
and so
it's not a big deal. It's a dirty dish. I can wash it in the
Right.
morning. Just have to rinse off the ice cream. Again, not about us. It's funny though, because like I left a dish in the sink last night.
Yeah, but I don't care about the dishes.
But in this scenario,
right,
he did it and he put it down. He's like, "I'll just get to it in the morning." So to him, it was not a big deal. but to her, it was a huge deal. But then they dug into it.
And it really turns out.
Well, there's two sides to it. It
Right.
bothered her because why?
It bothered her because she felt like when she really got down to it, it wasn't anything to do with the dishes. It had everything to do with she felt that her husband was mad at her. And she felt that her husband was not washing the dishes to kind of poke at her. Like,
Okay.
I'm already mad at you, but her husband also had a history of non-confrontation. He was non-confrontational. He didn't like being mad. He didn't like having arguments. And so he would just do things very passive aggressively.
Just walk away.
Right. And so when she, well, no, when
Sure
she
this
saw,
isn't about
when
us.
she saw, when she saw the dishes, to her, it was
Make this story up.
no, it's a show. It's called Couples Therapy. And so to her, it
I
was,
don't know if I'm believing her.
to her, it was, hey, you're doing this because you're mad at me. This is really because you're upset with me, not because, I really need, or you forgot to do it or whatever. You're poking at me.
But then the husband, it turns out with him, it wasn't about him just saying, oh, it's no big deal, I'll do it on my timeline. It was he felt emasculated. He didn't feel like he had a voice in his marriage. He didn't feel like he could do anything. There was no way for him to respond to her. So this was his way of being like, F you.
So then he was
I'll wash
mad.
the dishes when I want to do the dishes.
Well, his was more of a little bit of a defiant situation. Like, if I don't want to wash them on her timeline, why does her timeline matter more than my timeline?
But see, I get into that all the time, and I'm not mad at you for it, but it's like, and this is something that I think happens to a lot more people. I was talking to some friends of ours last night about this, where you're like, hey, take out the trash. And I'm like, yeah, cool, I'll take out the trash. Don't worry about it. I got it. And then 30 seconds elapses, and I don't take out the trash in those 30 seconds, and then you get pissed, and you grab the trash, and you take it out. Well, 5 minutes later, I get up to take out the trash, and it's already done. I'm like, why would you ask me to do it if you're just going to do it yourself?
I feel like that's a constant in our house.
Well, yeah, because I'm usually in the middle of something. So I'm usually in the middle of something, because when you ask people to do things, you're always looking away from them, and you're asking, you're not paying attention to what someone else is doing. You're just like, I need what I need done.
So would it be
now.
more helpful if I grabbed you and looked you in the eyes and said, take out the trash?
Yeah, because
now?
then you would realize that I'm in the middle of doing something when you step up to me and do that. Yeah. It's not passive aggressive. It's like, hey,
anyway,
I'm
it
doing
goes
my
on further.
thing.
It goes on further to talk more about how, and I think you can relate this to relationships and friendships as well, right? So many times we get offended or we get upset or bothered by somebody's reaction to something, or the way that somebody spoke to us, or someone's having a bad day, and then it really actually has nothing to do with us.
It has to do with them.
everything to do with them and what's going on in their lives.
This goes back to like the thing with where I was talking about how I always want to be on time.
Yeah,
And
so it comes from...
So yeah, and the thing is, and then Jess will always tell you that I'm never on time. She's always like, you're never on time, you're always late. And she's always picking on me about being late, but I'm never... if it was up to me, there were very rare occasions I would be late. And so what I started doing this year was the bus leaves at 7:20. I'm in the car. I'm outside. If you're not in the car at 7:20, I'm leaving with or without you.
And he will
it's
leave.
happened. And I've left their asses at home.
So he left Nola, and he's left me. And I'll tell you that it really upset me.
Well, but the thing was, I left because you started telling everyone that we knew that I was the one that was late. I was like, you know what? That's not cool. I'm not the one that's late.
But did you do this to be mean? Or
No,
you
I
did
did
it
it to prove a point.
But a mean point.
No,
Because you could have waited 2 minutes in the car.
No, because that 2 minutes turns into 10 minutes.
Wouldn't have made us late.
It would have made us late.
Anyway, it really hurt my feelings.
Well, I'm sorry. I feel that I was trying to do something that was for the good of the family.
Whatever.
Because then everybody's late.
It hurt my
Damn
feelings and
school.
Nola's feelings. But I will tell you that now all of us are running out the door because if it's 7:20, Dad's going to leave.
Yes, and I will leave.
And that hurts
but
our
that
feelings.
comes from that, and then it's like, how quickly can we drill down to the childhood trauma? It's like, well, I don't want to be late because if I'm late, then that means that it's sloppy, and if it's sloppy, then my dad won't like it. My dad won't like it because the military, and then he won't be happy, and then he'll leave my mom, and then I'll be abandoned as a child, and then everyone has to be on time, or else my dad's gonna leave me. Shit.
Yeah,
but childhood trauma creeps up real quick.
That's the truth. Is it the more you talk, the more you talk,
I'm in
the more you
car at
realize.
7:20 in the morning because I don't want my dad to leave my mom.
Wait a minute.
Like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. But I think you just hit something that's really important, right? Is that
Yeah.
all of the things that happen in our youth do really shape us.
They
And that's why we
absolutely
react
do.
the way we do. That's why we want things the way that we want them. I think that's why we carry the friendships that we carry or the relationships that we carry, boyfriends, girlfriends, which leads me into this abusive situation, right? So this morning, and I want to talk about the bear.
Oh my God.
I want to talk about the bear because hold on. I want to talk about the bear. No, I don't because I don't like your logic. So it's important to recognize
Here we
what
go, ladies
the
and
bear is a
gentlemen.
metaphor,
The
right?
topic that Jessica has been waiting weeks for, to everyone that's listening and listening.
Now we're gonna have an argument about it.
Let's talk
Okay,
about
so
the bear.
the bear. A friend of mine sent me a little kind of a Instagram or post or whatever, and I have to sift through it and read it all. And it's, ultimately the question is, would you leave your daughter
No, that's not.
in the woods?
That's not, no.
Yes, if you had to leave your daughter in the woods.
If your daughter was walking through the woods and she encountered something, it's not would you leave them like, yeah, I'm going to trust
Well,
you
I
to
think
take
it's
care.
either way.
No, that's totally different.
Okay, so no, because you're putting logic into it. Let me just get on with it. So basically, would you leave your child alone in the woods with a man or with a bear?
No, that's no.
Read
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm gonna read
Who
it.
the hell would leave their
I'm
kid with
gonna
a
go.
Bear? Here
I'm
you go,
gonna-
bear. Take care of my daughter.
This is what you're not getting.
If your child was walking alone in the woods, would you rather them encounter a man or a bear?
Here it is.
And then the question is, if you as a woman were walking through the woods, would you rather encounter a man or a bear?
There's a question going around the internet. The original question is, would you rather have your daughter in the woods with a random unknown man or a random bear? It's been morphed a bit now, and it's been shared to, what would you as a woman rather be in the woods with a random unknown man or a bear?
Can you admit that that's not the same as saying, would you leave your child in, like, here you go, kid, go jump in the woods?
I mean,
it's one of these two choices.
Would you rather have your daughter in the woods with a random unknown man or a bear? Okay. So my mind,
that's
when
the
I
question.
read this,
Hold on, that's the question.
Okay.
What's the question?
The
Just
question
to make sure we're all
is,
on the same page.
would you rather have your daughter encounter a random unknown man or a bear in the woods? Okay. So your daughter, you put the scenario however you feel like you need to put it. I'm walking along. Your daughter's walking along. A woman is walking along in the woods. Would you rather encounter an unknown man or a bear?
An unknown man who speaks English.
My mind, when I first read it, went directly to an unknown man. Of course, I would rather be with an unknown man. I have been in the woods with a bear, and it's scary. So that's not where my mind goes, because I think I thought about it a little more logically. But then as I come to read people's responses, and you see the media, and you see what is going on right now with people, you start to wonder, well, shit, maybe I don't really want to be in the woods with an unknown man.
Okay.
What's worse?
A bear
We
is
get
either
it.
going to look at you and go no threat and walk away, or go, I'm going to kill this person and attack them because you're in their environment.
So the counter arguments are they were cringy at first. When I first read them, I thought, God, this is so ridiculous, because the comments to this have been absolutely
There's
bananas.
no reasoning with a bear.
No, I get that. So I think what you have to understand here is that women will turn around and say, I would rather encounter the bear. And I'm going to read these. I'm going to read these out loud. And some of them, guys, it's not that I'm anti-feminist, but I am very some of them I just can't agree with, right? It takes you down a whole rabbit hole. But number 10, no one would question me about what I was wearing if the bear attacked me. Okay. No one would accuse me of liking the bear attack. So you have to understand here, the bears, this is just
I'm not taking away from that.
It's a
I'm
metaphor
just
for
saying,
what is happening in life. And I think it just
fair
gives
enough.
us the ability to,
Fair enough.
it gives us the ability to have these conversations out loud. So although it's ridiculous, because the bear's just going to kill you.
The bear's just going to kill you.
He's just going to kill you.
That's it.
Right.
You're going to get mauled.
He's not going to torture you. He's going to kill you.
You're not going to run faster than the bear.
Right.
You're not going to outrun the bear. You're not going to survive the bear attack.
Right.
You're going to die.
Yeah. You're going to die.
There's no reasoning with a bear, in my opinion.
In your opinion, right?
However,
However,
that's my thing.
a
It's like,
bear A bear's motives are easier to understand.
Absolutely.
A bear won't accuse me of leading them on by being nice to them. I would not be forced to carry the bear's babies to term in 27 states.
I'm just saying, like, I get it. Like,
the bear will either kill me or leave me alone.
That's it.
Right. So, I mean, it goes on and on and on. But the point here is that we're now in a society because the response has been tremendous.
Crazy.
And I think the last statistic I read on this was that, in a nutshell, I think 8 out of 10 women preferred to be around a bear than an unknown man. And I think there's so much to think about there. The problem there is what has society done? Like, what have we done to our men?
What are men doing to stop and think about that? And instead of just having that reaction of, duh, the bear, where are they stopping and going, holy shit, like it's right. So, men are so, the way that they're viewed by so many women is so bad that a woman would rather be in the woods with a bear than with, like, me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a man.
Well, hopefully not. Well, you know, hopefully you can light a fire and do all that camp stuff. But no, I'm saying, no, like, it's really, really frightening and scary. Well, and so then
the part isn't even so much the logic or any of that behind it. It's just like the what a reality check for men to turn around and go, wow, that's really how women think of men. That's
yes.
And what are men doing to change that perspective?
What are men doing to change that perspective? 2, what are we allowing men to do to change that perspective? Because I think women have to own it too, right? We want to do everything. Girls can do everything. Women can do everything. We don't need our men to hold our doors open. We don't need our men to provide for us. We don't need any of that. But then it comes down to this. It's like, wait a minute. Okay, then what I saw on the internet this morning, the 4 horsemen of why she chose the bear.
Oh, let's go. Holy shit. Who's that? That's P. Diddy. Who are the other 2 guys?
Andrew Tate. Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
And the guy who just did the speech at the Catholic Church. Which
I
I don't necessarily agree on that.
About that
but I don't know his name. But that's the thing that came up this morning, right? So when you're looking at characters like this, it makes you wonder.
Yeah, but P. Diddy, first of all, P. Diddy wasn't going after girls; he was going after boys.
No, that's not true. He just beat up his girlfriend. Didn't you just see the video?
Oh yeah, you're right. Andrew Tate was a piece of shit.
I mean,
the Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
There's a whole the Harvey Weinstein thing to me is.
I mean, but it's awful. It's men of power who are misusing their power.
Yeah.
So I for a long time didn't agree. Like I for a long time thought you don't show up to a meeting at 2:00 in the morning. That's on you. That's not on them. You know. And then I came to realize the manipulation that happens and the need to succeed, what society has told us we have to do in order to be successful. So you do it all, and then you end up in these compromised situations, and you, the victim, yes, have to hold some kind of accountability for putting yourself there, but the people doing that to you are taking advantage on a level, like on a mental level that's unexplainable, right? So you look at what P. Diddy's done. You look at the coercing of young stars wanting to be involved in the mix of everything. And you almost can't blame them. They're young and impressionable and they don't know any better. They haven't lived life yet. How do you create a generation of people that are confident enough to say, you know what, I don't want it that bad?
But they do want it that bad.
That's
because
the
everything
thing.
tells them that they want it that bad.
But that's a society problem. And so I'm reading these over here. Some of the male students have subscribed to Andrew Tate's newsletter. That's scary.
Insane to think about, right?
Some Hispanic women's sons are kings and princes. Yeah, I'm the first one. I'm trying so hard, and I had this other conversation, right? So this leads into how does society...
This reminds me of the Stanford swimmer rape case.
I don't remember the details of that.
Where the Stanford swimmer raped a girl, and everyone was like, "How could? There's no way he could do it. His mom was he's a handsome, beautiful young man. He has everything.
He couldn't have done it."
But that's the same defense that Donald Trump's using. I would never. Why would I want to sleep with her?
So going back really quickly before we move into politics, it's a constant wonder for me anyway. How do we raise men to be good people? Like, how do we remove all of this?
I'm gonna sound super old school.
How do we?
Dude, it all starts at home.
Well, no, of course it all starts at home. So, but I'm looking at like this comment, right? Some Hispanic women's sons are kings. Yes, I'm so guilty of it. I don't even recognize that I'm doing it. It's incredible the double standard that is in my house. I have a girl that I expect her to be strong and smart, and I expect her to do all of these things, and no, I'm not going to feed her, and no, you're going to be potty trained before anybody else, and no, you're going to learn to read, you're going to do all the things. And with her, I was so strategic about her having to be just a different caliber of woman to make sure she could overcome all of this, and the confidence that I think we have put in there to make sure that she is strong enough to say, I don't need it that bad. Yeah. And can walk out the door. But then with my son, I do like
at 4:00 in the afternoon.
I'm doing
in
the
our
most
house,
ridiculous things.
Wipe my butt,
Mom. Wipe my butt. Yes. And for a split second, I'm like, let me run. Let me go over there. And then it's like, wait a minute. You're 7, dude. I'm not going to do that.
Did he button his own shirt this morning?
He did. I'm not getting him dressed anymore either. But so I'm learning, right? Because
it's been a week.
But I recognize it. Oh my God, I have to be better. He's got to be treated equally, right? Like we have to level the playing field here. He's not a prince. Yes, he's my son, but how do I get him to be, by
not wiping his butt.
Give or take stuff, because we show them a lot of love, and you want to show them love so that they can show their wives loves and all that. But yes, no, they're not above the law. They're not above the rules. They have to be held accountable. Accountability is something that I don't stop talking about with them. So he told a fib, right? He didn't want to be 100% honest, and he told me partial story, and the whole story is what's important. And so talking to him about, wait a minute, you left out a piece that's pretty important, right?
My thing with
be accountable for that.
Little kids like that love to exaggerate.
Yeah.
And so he'll come up with like, oh, Dad, it's like 11,474 degrees outside. I'm like, hey, adding a number to it doesn't make people believe you more. Just say it's hot. It's really hot.
Right.
You don't have to try and make up some number. So we've been working on him exaggerating.
Like the exaggerated start. But anyway, you want them to just be good dudes and treat people well. And you're right. I'm looking at the comments, and it does start at home. And ultimately, he's going to shadow what you do, right? Yeah. So you should really start taking out the trash faster.
Whatever.
You should really just get on my schedule.
Yeah, well, your schedule sucks sometimes. But it's not even that. It's that your schedule is immediately, and you don't have any regard for what the person you're asking them. You're asking someone to do something without having any regard of what that person is currently doing.
I don't like the word not having regard. Let's try to change that to maybe not such a negative word. Okay, and then I can hear you better.
I feel.
Oh God. Drew, have you taken out the trash yet?
This is just in therapy, dude, where it's like, I feel just goes, oh God, here we go. It's like, Jesus. That's why therapy works with my wife. She's like, therapy, good. Yeah. Anyway, my point is that, the thing that's real big with me is communicating.
I try so hard to communicate.
You talk with your mouth full. You talk in the opposite direction. You mumble things.
But I'm so much fun all the time.
How many times do I have to say, what, honey? What? I wanted to get my hearing checked because I was worried that my hearing wasn't up to par, because you're like, and I'm like, what the fuck did she just say? And you're like, you're in the kitchen washing the dishes facing the window, and I'm in the living room facing the opposite direction, and you're like, I'm like, what? You
want to know what's really funny? One, I don't eat flan. Two,
that's not true. We had a whole bunch of flan in the fridge.
I didn't eat any of it because Nola had it in her lunchbox. She asked for the little flan things, and she put them in her lunch. I don't eat flan. You know that. Do not eat flan.
I made a bakery run this morning, by the way.
I saw.
So good.
You're a sabotager. So, okay, but to be fair.
What's fair?
Oh, no. There's nothing fair. Listen, I was going to tell you, low key, but since we're on air, we should all talk about it.
Yeah. Here we go.
I do think you should get your ears checked.
You should zip your trap. You're rude.
Either that or you're just really trying hard not to hear me.
No, you don't have any consideration for.
Oh, those are fighting words. I don't have any consideration. See, ladies and gentlemen, don't talk like Drew.
You just mumbled.
I know. I'm a mumbler.
You are. Okay, here's
what is this?
the notes that I had for today's
That we've completely derailed.
Yeah. So when you're asleep, I tiptoe around and try and close the door quietly. I turn on a fan for white noise. I make sure that if you're asleep, I just let you sleep. You, the other morning, you remember what you did the other morning?
No.
Woke me
You're
up.
making me sound really bad, by the way.
You woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you rolled over and you're like, Drew, what's up, babe? What? I'm not going to the gym this morning. I was like, okay. Then I rolled back over and I was like, did you really have to wake me up to tell me that? You could have just not gone to the gym.
And then I think I woke you up again when I said, no, I am going to the gym this morning. I have these moments where I want someone to tell me that I don't have to go. So it's 4:30 in the morning and my alarm goes off and I'm like, I really don't want to go. I'm so tired. I don't want to go. And so honey, I'm not going to go to the gym. And that's me like really asking for it.
I'm dead ass asleep. Good for you.
It's really me asking for you to tell me it's okay. You don't have to go to the gym. No. You look great. It's going to be fine. And all you said was, okay. And then you rolled over and went back to bed. So then I woke you up again. Drew. I'm going to go to the gym.
Well, I can encourage you. My question is,
what?
Do you let your spouse sleep or do you wake them up when you wake up?
That doesn't matter. We're not.
You're a waker upper.
Yeah. If I'm awake, you're awake.
If you're awake, everybody's awake.
Yeah. I hate walking and everybody's asleep.
I thought that one was interesting.
I don't like it. There's no rest here.
We don't have to talk about politics. You know what bothered me is that Emmanuel Duran. That bothered me.
I don't know who that is.
That's the kid who played for Edinburgh, one of the Edinburgh high schools.
I did,
got ejected from the game and then turned around and tackled the referee and caused all kinds of trauma to that dude and like set a terrible precedent for UIL, showing kids that you can tackle the referee and get away with it. And everyone's like, oh, they're going to throw the book at him. Dude, a $200 fine and a year of community service.
But
like, what message does that send?
But he doesn't play ball for college, right?
No, but my thing is what you talk about building better, boys into men, boys to men, ABC, BBD, East Coast family. Anyway, how do you take boys, turn them into good men? So you see a kid tackle a ref, and you're like, oh, don't do that. I mean, what precedent is the world setting to take people and hold them accountable for some like terrible, horrendous stuff like that?
I mean, if he was a little kid, like in middle school, maybe it would be somewhat like, okay, just make sure he doesn't do it again. But that's a man tackling another man.
He's a big dude, man.
And so I don't know.
He had been ejected.
What was were people 18, upset?
After hitting the referee, he was restrained by his teammates, and then
that's a big boy.
Big kid, man.
So were people upset by the outcome or happy with the outcome?
No. Everybody's pissed. So he's filed a civil suit against Duran seeking $1 million in damages because now the ref's like, there's no way I can ever step out onto a football field again.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't know how he didn't get it.
Here's a question. Your wife has been kidnapped and is being held in a location 30 minutes away. You're driving to rescue her. It's a warm night and your windows are down. Do you listen to music on the way there? Yes or no?
No, Drew, you don't listen to music. You collect your thoughts. Your wife is missing.
I can feel it.
You're sad. You're so sad. Oh, don't get me started on this one. This one was...
Women on Bumble no longer have to make the first move.
Dude, chicks, man. Get your lives together.
Bumble was like, no.
So the entire platform... So to talk about this particular dating site... From what I understand, the woman is the one that needs to make the first move, right? She has to contact the man before you can start having a conversation, which was supposed to be empowering, which was supposed to, all of the things. Let me choose. Let me make, the first move on someone. Let me start that initial conversation.
And
what do they do?
Bumble received feedback from women who found that making the first move was, quote, a lot of work or a burden.
Make up your minds. So that's what I'm talking about. It goes back and forth. Oh my God.
Oh, look, here's some old notes. Kendrick Lamar and the
Nicki Minaj and her joints that she got in trouble for.
What a pendeja, dude.
Okay, so she says it wasn't hers. She says it wasn't hers.
The fucking oldest thing in the book, dude.
She said the marijuana was not hers. Man. I think it was something like 50 milligrams or 100 milligrams, which was 2 pre-rolls For those of you who don't know what pre-rolls are, I just learned they're like joints. And she got cut with two of them.
Hold on. Let's talk about the big story here.
What?
Who takes weed to Amsterdam?
I think if we haven't learned, have we not learned anything at all? Just don't travel with it. You're going to get in trouble if it's not legal.
Nicki Minaj was apparently arrested in an airport by Amsterdam police upon her arrival in the Netherlands on suspicion of carrying drugs in her luggage. Why would you take sand to the beach, man?
Doesn't make any sense.
It's not mine, she says. Okay.
And it was, two joints full. But you know who sent me the article?
Who?
Nola.
See?
Nola sent me the article and she says, Mom, what do you think about this? So the backstory to this is that I insure cannabis companies, right? And so we talk a lot about marijuana. We talk a lot about legalities.
We talk very openly about this stuff.
Right. And how if things are legal and they're not legal. And mainly because I'm talking about it for work and, you know, on the insurance side of it, what is legal and what's not and what can you insure and what can't you. And so Nola hears us having these conversations and we're very open to talk about, you know, a lot of things with her. And so she saw that Nicki Minaj, I guess she saw a headline news type thing. And so she sent me the clip. And then we had to talk about how I went down the whole Brittany Griner story, right? Like how you do not go into different countries with drugs, period. No matter if it is legal in your home state, you cannot travel with things like that because you don't know if it's legal anywhere else. So you just don't do it. Rule of thumb, guys. PSA, okay. Don't travel with your drugs.
So talking about Brittany Griner. What do you feel? So The View, on Wednesday's episode of The View, co-host Sunny Hostin argued that Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark is only popular because she's white, straight, and attractive. The WNBA has skyrocketed in popularity this season. Clark is a big reason for that. The all-time leading scorer in college basketball history. She brought more attention and more coverage to women's basketball over the past couple of years than the sport has ever seen because she's the all-time leading scorer in college basketball.
This has nothing
history.
To do.
Not woman, not man, all-time leading scorer in college basketball history. But This lady gets on The View and she's like, well, it's because of white privilege. And she says, I do think there's a thing called pretty privilege. There's a thing called white privilege. There's a thing called tall privilege. And we have to acknowledge that. Tall privilege. That's a new one. Clark is 6 feet tall, by the way. There's no such thing as tall privilege, FYI.
No, ask a man that, though. Men who are not as tall.
Oh, you know, totally fair. You're right.
You can say that because you're tall.
I mean squeezing into booths and squeezing into tables and bumping my head on everything. That's what I meant. I didn't mean that for people who are not 6 feet tall that it doesn't feel... Oh, totally fair.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But this lady says this thing about Caitlin Clark and everyone's like, what? And she's like, it's because she's white. And it's like, wait a minute. And they start talking about Brittany Griner. And they're like, well, Brittany Griner, this and this. It's like, that fucking idiot smuggled drugs to Russia. Like, hold on. I don't give a shit about her basketball game. That was not a smart move, what she did. And it wasn't because of her color or her ethnicity or because of her background. It was because
it wasn't
she
a
took
smart
drugs
move.
to Mexico.
Russia.
Russia. Also, she was not the all-time leading scorer in college basketball history.
Right.
I don't think it has anything to do with privilege other than the privilege of
in this particular situation, I would say that I think they're failing to recognize that she herself has, you know, she's the all-time leading scorer. And so it really has nothing to do.
The game?
I don't know if it has anything to do with her race or not. I don't think so.
The first person to chalk up Clark's fame to identity politics, Jamel Hill claimed the 2024 number one overall pick popularity was problematic because of her race and sexuality, and Gaines called her out too. All Caitlin Clark has done is sold out arenas, set TV viewership records. She's brought millions of new eyes to women's collegiate basketball and now to the WNBA. So saying she's problematic, I mean, to me, it sounds like she's the problem solver.
Right. I would just...
Riley Gaines was standing up for her, so...
yeah, she's brought attention to it. Great. I think it helps everybody win.
Yeah.
So regardless of whatever it is that's, you know, that's gaining that attention, it's bringing attention to the entire WNBA.
Did you say gaining that attention? I like what you did there. Anyway,
that
real quick, we got to wrap up. It's time. But what I wanted to do, I'm going back. Our first episode, we talked about Title 42. Mother's Day gifts. when you run out of gas. You haven't run out of gas in a while.
I never ran out of gas. What was it that I said the other day? I was like, hey, babe, I've got 30 miles. You think I can make it to Harlingen?
You can make it there.
You're like, put gas. I hate putting gas.
what
That's
else
still
was-
true. I hate putting gas.
What else was back in the day? Ted Cruz wants to launch a probe into Bud Light for working with a trans influencer. Oh my God, remember that? NAACP issues a travel warning to Florida. I scratched my eye. 8-year-old dies in custody in Brownsville. What else did we talk about? Oh man, fungal meningitis outbreaks and surgeries in Mexico.
That was a whole year ago
That
already?
was a year ago.
Wow. Time flies when you're just having fun.
Cool. Okay.
Anyway, but it is 1 year later. That's crazy.
Happy 1 year, happy anniversary, babe.
You think you're gonna change the logo?
I will say that I was waiting for it to be a year before I did any big difference.
Okay, well, it's a year now.
Wow, on your timeline, here we go. Let me go take out the trash.
I
and do the dishes
feel like those are fighting words, and that this is really about you wanting to be on this show alone.
first. Congratulations on 1 year. There we go.
Thank you.
All right.
It's it gives us a uninterrupted 1 hour of chatting, because as most couples know, it's impossible to have a conversation with kids
Oh
around.
my God, I know. I can hear them in the other room. I'm already terrified what they've done to the house.
Yeah.
Drew, in the morning.